Captain Burns have decided to tell Shinra what's happening, and let me just tell you, uh, it's a little bit more dangerous to getting the truth than one expected. Shinra, of course, wants to talk, but first he wants to change because, after all, he's in a nightgown and pretty butt naked. He changes and he sees a scar on his chest. Now he has gotten a scar from that stabbing wound, but he is treated and starving, so Captain Burns treat him to some food and drinks, and they begin to talk. Shinra immediately after that asks, "You met me 12 years ago, so did you know anything?" And Captain Burns just says, "Yes, I do." So, but he didn't want to report it in the trouble that will. Uh, he didn't want to report because you will not have taken the trouble to say that your family killed your family. Shuna doesn't, of course, does not care what people say about him. All he asks, did Burns know that Shaw was alive? He answers yes. So, and he also knew he was taking the preacher. Fed up with all of this, Shinra grabs Burns and demands him to tell him what happened. But suddenly, Shinra is blown away by a powerful force of fire that comes from Captain Burns. As he says, like, even what would you have done 12 years ago? You could not have saved anyone the way you are not right now. Moreover, you could not move me back then. So, so he says, if you really have become stronger, then prove it to me. Sheena immediately begins to attack and actually manages to graze Captain Burns with a kick. Having increased his firepower and probably also gotten divine protection, they begin to have a small duel in all this. After all, men cannot settle their grudges if they without their fists. So, but Captain Burns says that fire brigades have a mission, so he doesn't need to go wrought up emotion. But then suddenly, Captain Burns increases his fire as his eye patch also begins to burn and create a very powerful force, more powerful than anything before, as he blows away Shinra even more. Still saying like the weak lose their lives. That was the truth. And do you really have power enough to do that? Uh, so Shinra almost fending up a little bit with Commander Burns moments starts to fight him for real. But then suddenly Commander Burns' entire body gets engulfed in flames. Not just his eye patch. He's now showing his true power. He taunts Shinra with the same line he said back then when they first had that squabble. Come here, or come on. Now we see the true power of the captain of the 1st Brigade. Or maybe we will not, but at least now we see that Captain Burns' firepower is more than just something that is burning. He seems to be able to control firepower like a big, huge pressure, almost like heat energy or something similar to that. He can really create a large blast. I don't know if it is actually heat pressure that he's creating. All I know is things are taking a very strange turn. Also, the popularity polls came out, I heard. Strangely enough, I think Tamaki was number 2. Who was number 3? Was that Maki? I mean, I'm surprised that people really like Tamaki that much. Shinra is, of course, number 1. Oh yeah, and Maki is 19 years old, and she's 167 centimeter. But she is my favorite character after all. Either way, will Shinra finally know the truth again? Well, I have a feeling it's not going to be a fight. It's just going to be like, I acknowledge your strength, and then I'll tell you. Who knows? You give me a false, you have any.